Okay, so our final inductee this evening, another men's basketball standout, and this one's been a long time coming, right? Mr. James Patrick. There you go. I don't mind some claps. The first time I heard about James was from our old head coach, Vernon Mcdonald. He would go on and on about how good James was. Even this morning, and I just told James this, even this morning we had our board of directors meeting, and I had two of our board members come up to me after the meeting and say, James is the best basketball player we've ever had here. Then I met his brother Cordell. Then I really heard about how good he was because Cordell went on and on and on and on. And Cordell is James' presenting speaker tonight, so you're going to get to hear that as well. James was also part of two conference championship teams, and he, just like Dante, is scattered throughout our Texas State record books. He's the 8th all-time leading scorer, and that's without a three-point line, right? Without a three-point line. And his team finished 3rd in the country in 1979 and came so close to the championship game. I know you lost by 1 point. His teammates are also here to support him tonight. What a bond. They're here for their team captain 40 years later, so let's have a hand for those teammates of Mr. Patrick's as well. As I mentioned, James' presenting speaker tonight is his brother, Cordell, and what's really cool is they got to play together here. That's pretty unique. So Cordell, please come on up, and let's hear more about your brother.
James Patrick was a 3-year letter winner for the Bobcat basketball team from 1977 through 1980. The program's 9th all-time career leading scorer, Patrick was instrumental in the success of Texas State basketball, helping the Bobcats finish in 3rd place in the 1979 NAIA National Tournament. During his sophomore year of what was a storied career, Patrick helped lead the Bobcats to an impressive 20-6 record and 11-3 mark in the Lone Star Conference in the 1977-1978 season. The following year, Patrick led the Bobcats to a Lone Star Conference championship as the team won 29 games while advancing all the way to the semifinals of the 1979 NAIA National Championship Tournament. Patrick earned Team MVP honors that season, along with all Lone Star Conference honors, and was also named as an NAIA All-American. During his senior season, Patrick led his team in scoring for the 3rd consecutive year and helped the Bobcats win their 2nd consecutive Lone Star Conference championship with a record of 19-12. Patrick's accomplishments are scattered throughout the Bobcat basketball record books. He's the 9th leading scorer in program history, 7th in team history in career field goals made, and is tied for the most games played in team history. He is also one of just 5 players in program history to score more than 600 points in a single season, scoring 603 in the 1978-1979 season. In 1980, James was selected by the Denver Nuggets in the 5th round of the NBA draft and was also invited to the World University Games tryouts in 1979. Patrick later attended Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice in 1984. Since graduating from Washburn, he's been employed at Topeka Juvenile Correctional Facility, where he worked his way up from supervisor to deputy superintendent. He has also been president of JPJ & Associates Incorporated since 2001. Patrick also serves on the board of directors for Court-Appointed Special Advocates, a national association that supports advocates for abused or neglected children. He also serves on the board of directors for the Shawnee County Hall of Fame, recommending inductee selections of past athletes. He is also an active member of Love Fellowship Church in Topeka, Kansas, where he serves as the finance chairman and deacon of the church. Patrick currently lives in Topeka with his wife, Nadira. They have 2 daughters, Kalisha Holland of Fort Worth, Texas, and Jamie Patrick of St. Louis, Missouri.
Good evening, everyone. First, acknowledge a number of people here, Dr. Tice, Don Coryell, everyone here in attendance. Patrick family, as you see, we traveled deep from Kansas. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Reverend Robert Cooper and the First Lady Paulette and the congregation at Berean Baptist Church. That's my home church in Valencia, California, and Henry Williams in Atlanta. Couple other people I'd like to acknowledge. Can I get Greg Simmons to stand up, please? A lot of you guys may have noticed Greg Simmons from KSAT 12 in San Antonio. I've known Greg for 40 years. I have to acknowledge Greg, because if it wasn't for Greg, I never would have been on television. I never would have done anything, maybe, possibly, but never done Bobcat basketball. I want to acknowledge Greg. We had it locked down in San Antonio in sports coverage. First in sports in San Antonio, Greg Simmons and Cordell Patrick, only on KSAT 12. So, I got the text. Hold on one second. I got to send this text. Associate Athletic Director Don Coryell. Don, I'm gonna need more time. Send. Got it? Now, my brother, you know, I attended here, I later here in basketball. I didn't play. I was injured all the time, knee injuries. My history here at San Marcos, the number one question people ask me about my basketball career, where's your brother? And, you know, my brother, he has a ton of nicknames. James, Skookie, Skook, Pat. Only person that has more nicknames than him is Shaquille O'Neal. But my brother got his honestly because he didn't name himself. We named him. And when you heard Don earlier talk about Vernon Mcdonald, God rest his soul, if you have any questions about, no disrespect to any other former players who have played here, all you have to do is, if you had a chance to talk to Vernon Mcdonald, he would tell you the best basketball player who's ever played here was James Patrick. Matter of fact, I created a little acronym. I was thinking one day, sitting up, and it just came to me, and I said, Bobcat, Bobcats. So I broke it down, Bobcat, B-O-B-C-A-T, best of Bobcat all time. And that would be my brother, James Patrick. I'd like to welcome and congratulate my brother for being enshrined into the Texas State University Hall of Honor, my big bruh, James Patrick.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Cordell, for that warm introduction, and I'm glad you didn't take all my time. If you notice, my photos were all in black and white, except for my family while we were on vacation, so that tells you they didn't even have film of me when I was playing. There was only 3 shots. I'm just, okay. So good evening, everyone. My name is James Patrick, and I played basketball here at Texas State University, formerly known as Southwest Texas State University, SWTSU, from 1977 to 1980. I would like to thank the T Association Board of Directors and Athletic Administration for the induction into the Texas State Hall of Honor. Congratulations to all the other inductees, Joyce, Dante, and Mr. Gish. I didn't know any of them, but the information that I retained from the bios, and these were all excellent and inspiring individuals. So I'm humbled and proud to be associated with all those great individuals in the hall. And thanks again, Cordell, for your warm and colorful introduction. I've always enjoyed returning to Southwest and to the city of San Marcos, where I have so many great memories. Basketball provided a great foundation for my life. The things I've learned in sports, such as teamwork, pushing myself to excel, and overall work ethic, has resonated in many other aspects of my life. Many sports are played in quarters, and life seems to follow a similar path. By the way, the American Heart Association suggests that life expectancy for most Americans is approximately 80 years. So metaphorically speaking, we can put that into 4 quarters. Quarter number 1, from the time of birth to approximately your sophomore year in college or 20 years of age, many changes have occurred. Growth and development during these educational years are important, and are the foundations on which to build. Time appears to be moving slow, and you want to become an adult so quickly, you just can't wait. And I just lost my place too, so. During the preseason period of your life, the competition is primarily non-conference opponents with poor winning percentages. So you may appear to be a 4- or 5-star athlete. Winning is everything, while scoring is the best thing that you know what to do. However, you never considered that defense is ultimately the name of the game. I have a couple questions for you. Have you prepared yourself to enter the next quarter, the next stage of your life? Have you put in the work required to complete and succeed in quarter number 2? So quarter number 2 begins from your sophomore year to approximately 40 years of age. You guys follow me? You are confident in your talents and skills. However, the competition has improved and the conference games are in front of you. Players are as good as you are, or even better. Your individual talents alone may not be a winning formula. You must take guidance from your coaches and rely on your teammates even more. These years are so extremely critical: graduating from college, getting married, deciding on a career path, and having children, and not necessarily in that order. During this period in your life, it is important that you minimize your turnovers, such as divorce, bankruptcy, foreclosure, things of that nature. You must make good, sound decisions, utilize your potential, and maximize your opportunities when they occur. Learn from your mistakes and never repeat them. Question: have you become resilient? Did you learn from your mistakes? Did you make the best of all of your opportunities when they occur? Quarter number 3. Age about 40 to 60, somewhere in there. In the content of a basketball game, you had just come out of halftime. You were well rested and rejuvenated. Your coaches and teammates discussed what happened during the first and second quarters, and you have devised a strategy for the rest of the game. By the end of this quarter, the plans that you have set forth hopefully have come to fruition, and the fruits of your labor have been plenty. Oh, I'm missing a page. Yeah, I got it. I don't know, you guys. This is what happens when you become a senior, okay? And you have been the fruits of your labor, and you have been plenty of advice and a screaming cheerleader. Okay, let me find the fourth quarter. Nadir, do you have the fourth quarter? And this is my wife. Would you stand up, please, so everybody can see you? Nadira Patrick, thank you very much. I just did this, you guys, so you guys would have something to laugh about, okay? All right, the fourth quarter. Well, let me finish the third. The fruition and the fruits of your labor, and point out others while emptying the nest. Are you comfortable? What are the decisions have you made? Did you implement the strategies that were discussed at halftime? Are you still in the game? And I apologize for that. I didn't use the iPad or the phone because I knew that I would mess up. So, fourth quarter, from the age of 60 until, and I'm in the fourth quarter if you haven't noticed. This quarter is one where your decisions and actions are truly dedicated to the win. Plans and strategies created have laid the foundations. Conditioning, strength, and endurance is a factor, and the victory is near. Now is the time for celebration and reflections while you prepare for the daunting schedule ahead. What is next? You should have definitely had, the children should have definitely had their own address by now. You should have an empty nest. The focus is now on grandkids and the next generation. So everything we do is for the next generation. You begin to participate in the growth and development of all the joys that they have to come. As they are working through the first quarter of their life, you are a vocal bystander with plenty of advice, a screaming cheerleader, and a formidable support. As I reflect on my experiences in life, my father taught me the value of hard work at a very early age. So he taught me how to work. There were times when my brother and I would have to get up in the morning, early in the morning, or late at night, because my father had his own business, and we would have to go work and clean buildings with him. And we did that for a number of years. I believe I started when I was around the age of 10. My father neglected to tell us about the fair child labor laws that were existing. I just never will forgive him for not explaining that we could only work a couple hours in the evening or a few hours during the week. So, but everything that my father told me and taught me resonated. The work ethic that he did teach me transcended in all aspects of my life, and I used it on the basketball court as I grew into manhood. I've owned my own business for more than 20 years and have used all the many lessons that work through my business. I have a beautiful wife, and I've raised 2 beautiful daughters. If you would stand, my beautiful daughters, please. Or wave to the crowd or whatever. I've had some really good coaches over my career, both in high school and in college. I learned a lot from these coaches over the years. They were all supportive and encouraging. But I want to tell you one final story. At some point over the past 4 quarters of my life, I determined that sometimes it's necessary to make a coaching change. So I listed the assistants from the winningest coach in history. Do you know who he is? I see some people shaking their heads. His name is Jesus Christ. Ultimately, he guided me to and through all the quarters of my life. I spoke a few moments ago about some of the things my father taught me, but the love of God was the greatest gift that my mother was able to give to me. I love Texas State University. I'm so proud to be here with you all this evening. I apologize for the missing page. Thank you, T Association, and thank you all for listening.